Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Irving Rotary Club. I got the bell a few more times. I do invite you to stand. Today, I'm going to invite one of our partners in service to lead us in our invocation, and this is Reverend Sonny Canaster. Excellent. And he's going to lead us today in our invocation.
Father, we just join together today in this time of fellowship and breaking bread together. Lord, we speak a blessing over our gathering today. We speak a blessing over CleanUP and Jordan, blessing over Agua Resources, and Lord, just a blessing over all that's taking place through Rotary. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh yes, bless our food.
Absolutely. Friends, as we begin, it's a pleasure to have Sonny with us from Agua Resources. We'll have him back up in just a minute, but we are going to begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Richard Raymond, would you mind leading us in our pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all may be seated. And Donna, our faithful secretary, is coming forward to introduce our visiting Rotarian and guests.
Today we have Aaron. And then we have Jordan's team, and they'll come up and introduce themselves. Yeah. Yes. They count. Okay, thank you.
Very good. I'm going to invite our past president and current flag boss, Rick Lindsay, forward. We've got an announcement and a presentation of the check to make. You ready, brother?
Thank you, Fred. You can stay up here with me. Sure. Well, thank you, President Shane, on your last few meetings. It's a pleasure to be here with our Rotarians, visitors, and guests. And I'm honored today to share with you the results of the fruit of your labor. So, Bill, when did you rebuilding flags? February, March? This year? Yes. February. Yeah, February. So y'all build flags when it's cold, you know, and you build flags when it's hot. And I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are. But first of all, I would like to acknowledge and thank our partner, the gentleman who is the president at Beaker, who has worked with us and provided us with that beautiful facility down in Middle East. Y'all stand up and let us thank them. They even put in air conditioner, so it's a beautiful place. Well, I'm going to paint a picture for you. You heard me talk about the numbers over the last 4 months. We have a stretch goal. And on each one of you, you can stop eating a second, take your finger and do an invisible bulletin board. I want you to write an 8. I want you to put a 0. I want you to put a comma and a 0, 6, 0. That is what you have achieved so far with the revenue sales for your Rotary Flags Over Irving program. Can I hear a big? Bob and Richard, and I'm sure I'll forget somebody's name, but you've all been out there. I'm going to paint a quick picture for you. Yesterday was Flag Day. Yesterday started about 6:30 when I got a call. Yesterday ended up late yesterday afternoon. We had a call for a new flag to be installed down near Loop 12 and Grawlala. Donna, would you take that one? She immediately said yes. We got another call over way out west at Beltline And, what was it, Building out west. Kathy called Donna, said, Donna, will you take that one? She said, absolutely. Well, I'm over in this region, putting out flags, and I get a call from Kathy that says, you need to go to Hackberry, the Sweet Gum Drive. So I go over there, they want a new flag. They have one beautiful red brick home. They want a second flag. They have this huge lot that's on the corner. So the lady came out, I thought she was the owner, asked her where they might want it. She called the owner of the home. He said, well, put it on the corner. So I said, okay. So I did that. So a few minutes later, I'm off to another location. I stopped by Portuguese to get a quick lunch. I get a call or a text from Kathy. She said, you need to go back to Sweet Gum. The lady has called me from Greece. And they talked about adding a third flag to surprise the husband. Okay. So I go to the barn, building it, pick up 5 flags. I head back out to Hackberry Sweet Gum. And I don't know how I got there because I went in 3 different gates, so I have no idea. Thank you for the mapping program. But anyway, so I put up measuring times all of these spots is 120 feet across the front. Get it all set up. I probe, I drill, I'm ready to put the sleeve in, and the homeowner himself drives up. So I stood up and I said, okay, let's wait and make sure the sky lights it. So he came over, his name was James. And so I showed him where it was, what we're doing. He said, okay, I love it, let's nail it. Pounded the sleeve into the ground as best I could, Dr. Carr, as straight as I could. Asked him to hold the flag, put the flag in the sleeve. It looked beautiful. I looked at him, I said, James, this is a beautiful home. You've got a huge lot. 4 flags would make this look magnificent. He said, well,
How do you knew what the amount of money was?
everything I already talked about, we were $60 shy of our stretch goal. And so she pretty much motivated me to make a sale. I think that's what it was. So he and I looked and I said, well, I think I put it down between that tree and the driveway and, halfway split the distance and I'll get it all. He said, well, let's do it. So went down, drove, drilled, put the sleeve. He came back out, put the sleeve in. Rotarians, that was the $60 that put us at $80,060. Kathy sold another flag last night. So that just tells you, you never know what's going to happen when you go out on flag duty. Am I right? Yeah, Terry, you put out 171 flags. She and her team, Vanessa and Ethan, that's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work by you all building flags. But congratulations. That picture for you because I want you to understand that today is a day of jubilee and celebration for us because we get to present a check. We have presented 3 other checks, I believe, to Aqua Resources. Pastor Sonny, would you join me up here, please? Yes, thank you. I'm not sure where the checks are, but I'm making sense in the mail that the checks are somewhere. But we started this program back years ago, pre-COVID, when I was the president and Robert also than you, and we worked that out. And we drilled a water well, and then we drilled another. And then I think COVID got involved and the whole thing slowed down. But it is our pleasure today to present you with a $1,500 check and ask you to please drill another water well in Mexico. So could you just briefly share with us the jubilee, the feeling? Here he comes right here. There you go, President. Come on up here. Look at President Shane to present this check to you. So
So thankful for what you do and so great. Glad we can partner with you.
Absolutely, thank you. Would you tell us what it's like when that first water comes out that way?
I will tell you, last week, Sam Walker, who is president of Agua Resources, our vice president, Broadwood, and he was in Mexico last week, digging some water with the team. And he said they gathered in this little village and there was a lady, mayor of this village, and the city council was there and all the families gathered around as they began to pump that water out for the very first time. When that water came up out of the ground, the city councilman got so excited, he started splashing the mayor with water. First time they'd ever had water in their little village. And she just soaked it all in. They had a little water fight there. It was the first time they'd ever had it in their village. And so what you're doing is making a difference in these villages all over Mexico. But we've got a trip in another next week, 2 weeks we go back to Mexico. We're going to dig some more water. They are digging water wells every week in Mexico. And so we're excited and grateful that you're part of what is going on there. Today I came as representative of Agua, but also guess what? I'm also on the board of directors and CleanUP. So I get to be a part of it. Let me say something about this check today. We had someone contact us, Agua, and they told us whatever you raise in June, they would match that gift. So this is going to go double. So it's 2 wells in Mexico, which we want to say. I couldn't say that.
Thank you very much. Well, we do have a couple of other presentations. Crystal, I spoke with her. She had a commitment. She will be here. And so when we, President Shane, do you want to make that other presentation and then go to the project, or do you want to?
Let's keep going with the project.
All right, so we will turn it back to you, and when Crystal gets here, we will give it motion and take it. So thank you all. I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
We have program director, Shelly Oliver, that will introduce our program for today.
Good afternoon. Well, today we have one of our own that we're supporting, and it's Jordan with CleanUP. So CleanUP was started in Irving during the pandemic of May of 2020 by distributing 250 sandwiches and bananas. Currently, CleanUP serves neighbors all over DFW, providing services in mobile environments like haircuts, clothing, showers, and more. They currently have 8 mobile units, but their goal is to expand that to 100. So let's welcome Debbie from CleanUP. She's going to lead us off and then introduce us to the rest of the team. So let's welcome Debbie.
My name is Debbie with CleanUP. I've been with CleanUP for about a year now. Well, it's been over a year now. I started out just as a volunteer.
Move the microphone towards you. There you go.
I started out just as a volunteer, only kind of doing it once or twice a week. But I fell in love with it. So there for over a year, I was out every time CleanUP went out, I was there. My role with CleanUP right now is I'm a volunteer coordinator. What we try and do is we get people to either come out to locations with us, or we have like what we're doing today, sorting clothes. We also have a bag making cleanup kits, which is a couple bottles of water, some snacks that we hand out to the homeless people. Or even at apartment complexes, we go 6-7 days, 5 or 6 days a week. And wherever we have a need, where there's a need and they call us in, we will be there, whether it's at an event like a police department is having their backpack giveaway for school, or they're having a haircut event, something like that. If they want us there, we will go there. What my role is though, is I try and get people to come out and like help us sort clothes, because that's kind of our biggest need. Everything we do, we give away free. We provide services, as many services we can, but everything is free because a lot of people do not have resources. And it doesn't matter if you have a job or not, it's all free. Everyone is our neighbor, everyone. So, you know, if we're driving down the street and somebody flags us down, we'll probably pull over and you know, see what they would need. We have people call us for clothing and stuff like that. We'll get a bag together and go deliver the clothes. But what I have to do is I try and find people like you guys today that are gonna help us do clothing, because clothing is one of our biggest problems right now, is we get so many clothes and not enough volunteers. So if you know anyone that, you know, are a group of people, that you want to volunteer and have an event like today, just give us a call. If you, in your home can have a couple extra hours and you want to do it from your home, then we can drop it off and come back, you know, whenever you call us and let us know that it's all sorted. And that's what we do. We also do like the cleanup kits, where we would supply all the drinks and snacks and stuff like that. And then we would take the location. I think we did it here last year. Pack up the bags and then we take them out and we give them to the apartment complex.
All right.
All right, so Debbie's going to start in the back, and so we'll take one table at a time. Courtney's gonna come up here in just a second, and she's gonna present. So while Courtney's presenting, Dr. Parr, if you wanna take your table, if you're done eating, meet Debbie in the back. She's gonna begin walking you guys through what she just explained. That we have a vast amount of clothing that gets donated to us, but until the clothing is sorted into male and female, and then sized, it's actually not, we can't really use it at that point because we put it inside of our mobile closet. We have a school bus that we've turned into a closet. The front side is women, the back is men, and so everything goes in. It's going to feel like a closet on the inside. And so we want it sorted, we want it sized. That way, whenever a neighbor goes inside, they know exactly where to go to grab the clothes that they need. So that's part of what we're doing here now. So Courtney's going to come and share on her role.
Okay, so my name is Courtney. I saw CleanUP at church. They showed a video and it just transferred my heart. So I started by donating and then I kind of started volunteering here and there. And then the Lord just led me to start doing this full time. And I am now the partnership coordinator. So my job is to cultivate relationships with organizations, any organizations, but churches and schools and all kinds of things like that. Right now, we partner with places like Salvation Army and things like that. And so what I am tasked to do is to find the new partners and to cultivate that relationship. And CleanUP started in Irving, yet we don't currently serve in Irving. So if you know of anybody, know of a facility or organization that you think that we would be good partners with, we're looking for people that we can come and serve, come create an event, or even do what we're doing right now. And they'll partner with us to sort clothes or make the academics or anything like that. So if you know of anybody, if anything comes to mind, then please come talk to me and try something out.
Wonderful. So I want to show you guys, this is a chart from when CleanUP started. So the light blue is 2021. So the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, that's in hundreds of thousands of dollars of services provided. So our very first year in service, we provided about $500,000 in services for free. So if you can calculate what an outfit would look like. So what a shirt, a pant, shoes, socks, you can calculate what that is, and then you multiply that over the amount of neighbors who receive clothing. And then you're able to calculate services rendered. Same thing with haircuts and with showers. There's a calculatable number that's quantifiable per service, right? So as we expand our services, as we expand our reach, which is what Courtney was talking about, these numbers go up. So in 2022, we did just at, and these are all very, very moderate to low guesses, because it's not really the goal is to have a high number here. It's just something that we can scale and look at. So in 2022, we did write out $500,000 in services that we gave away. So that's showers, haircuts, clothing, snack bags, which we call cleanup kits. And then 2023, this is our projected that we're going to hit. There's almost $2.5 million in services that we give away for free. And so we'll just take an example. So currently, year to date, CleanUP through the mobile barbershop, which is out front. As you walked in, you saw it. There's a school bus out front that's a barbershop. It's got 4 seats inside. And through that barbershop, CleanUP has provided 3,812 haircuts for free through that unit, right? And so the number that is calculated off of that is $40 a haircut, okay? And it's the standard in the state of Texas. So you can see just by providing haircuts on a consistent basis, how that matriculates to what we're able to do. And so even just right now in 2023, we're already, just because we went from serving without a mobile environment to now we're in a mobile environment. In 2021, we did not have a barbershop. We did it, we just popped up a tent and put a chair down. In 2022 and 2023, we have a barbershop. And so 6 months into 2023, we've already surpassed the number for 2021, just because we have an environment that we're welcoming neighbors into. The numbers go up. You're more willing to receive in this environment, which is the whole goal. And so right now we have 8 different school buses that we have converted. We have a classroom, we have a clinic, we have a lounge, which the lounge is an adult classroom, but if you call it an adult classroom, adults won't get in it. So you have to call it a lounge. So it feels like a Starbucks on the inside. It's got big couches in there. It's got hammocks that you can sit down. However you enjoy working and doing things like that, those types of tasks, that's what that's for. We have the barbershop, the closet. We have 2 shower units, and we have a distribution unit where we receive food and packaged goods by the pallet. We have a school bus where we can just put them in with a forklift and take them out with a forklift. And so again, part of the goal of getting to 100 units is the classroom is our most requested unit to replicate, because the need is so strong out there for education. And so what we're wanting to do is put a classroom in every county in the state of Texas. So we're working with the state to meet that need, because there's a lot of students who are unable to go to school for whatever reason. And so they're not getting the education that's free to them. And so we can provide that by taking the classroom to them and meet that need. And then from there, we wanted to begin replicating our services on a more frequently basis. Because right now, if you were a new partner to reach out to Courtney and say, I would like to schedule an event with CleanUP, you're going to have to start looking at the end of August, because the amount of requests that we get. And so that's a wonderful thing. But if we had 2 barbershops or 5 in DFW, then we could begin pairing them out and sorting more environments and more locations at a single time. So that's what we're looking to do. You guys actually provided the Wi-Fi access to all of our units, if you didn't know that. You guys wrote a check for $500 to CleanUP, and CleanUP took that, and we have a partner that enabled us to get each one of our units to have a Wi-Fi hotspot because of that donation. And so we say thank you to this group specifically for that. And so we can move back, and if anybody's has questions, we can take questions, and if anybody's wanting, yes, David, and then if you're ready to go serve with Debbie, feel free to hop up. This is kind of informal. Go ahead, David. Yeah, that's a great question, David. So what type of approval do we need? We actually don't need approval from the cities or the counties as long as we're invited by the private owner who invites us. Now, what happens is if we are on city property, a lot of times the city's already heard of CleanUP before we get there. And they're so glad that we're there to serve, because just by the environment that we bring with us, so we don't just bring practical goods that meet a need. We do that. We bring clothing, we bring showers and haircuts and amazing things, but it's the environment itself. It's soothing, it's welcoming, it penetrates all ethnicities and backgrounds and races. And so we have a lot of support from the cities that we're in. They actually provide a lot of support if we need it. So. No, again, if we were rendering a service, then we would need permits, but because everything is free, then again, that's how we can move around that barrier. Yeah, the only way we would need a permit is every now and then we'll partner with the Dallas Public Library downtown, and if the crowd gets too large, then we'll have to spread the units out over multiple blocks. That way we don't hit any ordinances like that. But those are good problems to have. Yes. Wonderful questions. Yes, so we actually are gifted 2 different types of education. So we have a partner here in Louisville that provides kindergarten through 12th grade education. It's a charter school program, completely free. It's all online platform. It learns with the student. There's a company with that. If the individual prefers to do a GED, then there's an option for a GED class that they can go into. Again, it's still 100% free. From there, we actually have partners with the city of Dallas, where we work with a program called Metrics. Metrics provides access to educational opportunities for employment. And also, what we can do is we have employers. For example, like TxDOT. TxDOT will say, we are looking for these 5 positions, and ideally these 5 positions need these 5 curriculums in metrics. So any neighbor who completes these 5 curriculums are eligible for these 5 positions. And so then when we're having communications with neighbors, we can say, these are opportunities that's available in your community. And here's 5 steps to get from where you are now to this employment. And it's very successful in the fact that you can give someone a time frame, a duration to say, here's your start and your finish line. And then we're working with TxDOT and other employers like Goodwill to bring that type of environment to their current job. So you have an employer, and they may have someone who's entry level, but that entry level individual wants to move up. So that, again, same thing, they can say within Goodwill to move from a clerk to a store manager, you need to take these 6 courses. So we can take a classroom to Goodwill, park it on their facility, and their employee will come outside, get free education that they're paid for to then move up. And so it's employee retention, it's employee satisfaction, all these things that help, especially in this day and age with how competitive work environment is. Any other questions? Yes, Terry.
How much does advice and cost and how much cost is it out?
Yeah, wonderful. We actually have a page on that I'll pull up. So the example that we have on this page will be the barber shop that we will pull up. Because the closet, as Debbie said, is our #1 requested, followed by the barber shop. So you can see here's the barber shop that's outside. Here's a picture. This was actually taken in the West End. So we were, where the West End station is downtown, we were parked right outside there, and some police officers came by and took this picture as they were supporting us. So here's our individual metrics for our barbershop, and then you can see exactly on here how much it costs. How much does it cost to replicate that barbershop that's out there? You can see it's $14,984, right? And that's tremendously low. Because we have a lot of partners that we can buy school buses from wholesale, we can buy the materials inside wholesale, we can do all of that. And then again, we love volunteer barbers. What I tell everyone is that I'm only in control over me. And so I'm willing to be there and cut hair every time. And I would love for someone to come with me, but I'm only in control over me. So barbers do come and help us, and stylists come and help us. It's a little, you're gonna have a large population of volunteers consistently. And so again, ideally what's happening is we'll replicate with an individual who's the main lead over the barbershop, and their role is to bring more partners on. But you can see these numbers are essentially probably 90% me, and I'm not a barber by trade, and I'm not a stylist by trade. But I've never had anybody get upset. There's a prayer that I pray every time I go out. Is God, give me the skills and the abilities to serve my neighbor, and give them the grace to receive whatever I can give. And so we're just going to meet in the middle. And so, any other questions? That's a good question, Terry. Yes, sir, Rick.
So in your calculation, Jordan,
Which one?
you calculate on the original.
The original one, yes, sir.
You calculate the value of the man hours.
No, these are just the service rendered. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. These numbers are very cut on the low end. They're probably 3 to 4 times this actual amount. Because again, for us, this isn't the number. We're not after an individual number. What we're here to do is to serve our neighbors and to show what the cost of actually serving a neighbor does, right? And so, really
Good. Thank you.
yes, sir. Gosh, so you have a question?
You know, I want to say something if I could,
Go ahead.
real quick. I've been on this board since its inception. And Jordan gives hours upon hours upon hours doing this. And for the most part, he doesn't receive financially much that comes back to him. He just gives out. It's as good as heart. It's all he's wanted to do. And I just want to say, partners like you, helping do this right here, what you're doing, and other things that Jordan's doing, fulfilling a vision that's in his heart. And he is into it 100%, I promise you. I'm on the board and I get a call from him or a text or something every day. We got something we need to do. We met up Monday, had a luncheon downtown Dallas. We met with the Dallas Police Department and some of the officers there that hopefully they're going to have to team up with barbers and things like that. And so they are in charge of doing some things in the community, and they were really impressed with what Jordan is doing. And so I thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah. So here's an example. This is on our website and also on our social media. This is an example of our outreach schedule for dinner. Now, this is probably half of the actual events, because if you put them all on there, it would be too small to read. So we put only a few, especially if there's some locations that are repeated. We don't put them on there. And then some locations are just not conducive for volunteers. We don't really need volunteers at a specific location, maybe because the duration is not long enough of a commitment, or it's just not conducive environment to serve at. And so this is an avenue. Again, this is an avenue for Debbie, but this is how we can get involved. Is like, just like I share with you guys all the time when it comes to Rotary, how can you get involved? You can share content, right? So you can like CleanUP's page on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever you're on, it's on all those. You can also begin attending any of these events. And just as Debbie said, we came to Shane's church this morning. They had a vacation Bible school. And we took the barbershop to their vacation Bible school and shared with the children what is out there. The sky is the limit of how we can serve neighbors. And it also just opened the eyes to the need that's in the community. And also who is meant to receive, right? And so I think Hunter and I, my son right here, Hunter, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Hunter and I wrote a book together, and it's called Daddy, What Does Neighbor Mean? And TBN recently decided they want to partner with us and produce that book. It actually turned it into a little cartoon. So that and the book outlines who is a neighbor. And so in the book, this is a real conversation that me and Hunter had a couple of years ago. He's 6 now, it was probably whenever he was 4, and he began asking me who a neighbor is. Is that a neighbor? Is that a neighbor? Is that a neighbor? And that's the example of the book is, yes, son, everyone is a neighbor. It culminates with Hunter asking me 2 questions back to back, which again are very real questions that he did ask me. He asked me, Daddy, are you a neighbor? And I said, yes, son, I am. And then he paused and he asked me, am I a neighbor? And I reminded him, only if you choose to be. It's a decision we have to make to be a neighbor. And so it's something that I teach Hunter, and hopefully, ideally, CleanUP can go through and begin sharing that message with everyone that we're able to be in contact with, that we're all neighbors. We're all meant to receive and we're all meant to give. And so, Dr. Barr, do you have a question?
Well, first of all, compliments to you again, the work.
Yes, sir.
The work that you've been doing for years now, and the work that your team does. We're greater community here.
Yeah.
Really exemplifying the idea of neighbors and neighborhood. And so the other thing I want to ask you though is,
Yes.
I know the Salvation Army for Dallas and Fort Worth,
Yeah.
in a couple of places. How does like our Salvation Army in Irving get involved with you?
The easiest way to say it is we have to get invited. We've never been invited to the Irving Salvation Army to serve. And so because that we're never going to show up unannounced and uninvited. That never works from our perspective. And so all we need is an invite. Shane invited us to come serve at a VBS. We've never done a VBS, but we made it. We made a presentation and we made an environment that was conducive for kids. So if there's a need to serve, we'll serve. If there's a need to educate, we'll educate. If there's a need to just come along and support. CleanUP's model is support and serve. So we never want to reinvent the wheel. So the Dallas Salvation Army, there's neighbors who live at the facility, but there's nobody providing haircuts and clothing on a large scale. So what we do is we support the Dallas Salvation Army by serving the neighbors with a service that we provide. And so it's just this mutual companionship that we can come together. And again, it just bring organizations together by serving, again, just neighbors. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're down to the last couple of bags to sort, so if you're willing and you would help us with that, that would be great. We do have 2 quick and very important presentations to make. So Rick, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, President Shane. In 1985, vision the city of Irving, and they started the Irving Schools Foundation. All of you know Miss Ann Pfaff, and I think Ann was there and was a pioneer and led this organization for many years. Then Dr. Elaine Free served. Today, it's an honor and a pleasure for me to welcome up here with me and Shane and Laz and Kathy and the board. If you'd like to join us, Miss Crystal Scanio, the current CEO, president of Irving Schools Foundation. So this past April, this club had 2 tables.
Please give me an mic. I just want to tell you all that right now, our students are actively claiming their scholarship, and it's the most exciting time in our office. Because all of these kids that got their money back in April are now on their way to college, and they're sending us updates and telling us what they're doing. And it's a chance to see it come to fruition. So we are so appreciative of the partnership, you all know it, with Rotary Club and the changes you're making in the lives of our children. Scholarships are so important to us, and like Rick said, since 1987, we've awarded over $8 million. He asked me to pull that this morning. It's hard to that text. Over $8 million of scholarships to our Irving ISD students. And we've had so many labs, and I think someone else recently told me they got one of our scholarships, has come back to the community and paid it forward. So it's more than the money, it's the message behind the money that you all give. And that is that we are invested in our children and we believe in their future. So very, very thankful for this, and it's exciting. You know, it's nice in our office to say we have 6 endowed Rotary scholarships that will never go away. They're in perpetuity. So forever Rotary will have a name in a child's heart when they go out to college, and they remember you all. A lot of them talk about that. But yeah. Thank you all very much.
As President Crystal Scaniel, thank you very much. Great job that you do. Mr. President, Laz.
Since we have Dallas here, Dallas actually has been instrumental in us being able to do the Irving Marathon running series, race routes through the canals. So he approves and lets us use the canals, which allows us to be more efficient. So thank you for making that easy for us.
President, that concludes the disbursement of the checks. What a great day. Thank you, sir.
$41,500. And we have that because of all the hard work that Rick, Bill, and Kathy, and Bob and Richard and Dr. Parra and Ryan and Terry and all of us to get together to get these flags out and built. And we can only do that because of your hard work and service. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now that they're fully endowed and in our following years, we can start adding money to these so that we can make the checks that the students receive even bigger and even more impactful in their lives. So now that they're all covered, now we can go through and start adding to each of our scholarships. So that's going to be the new goal going forward. Great, we are past time. If you do have time to stay and help, we appreciate it. Bill?
Counselor,
Yes.
we need to build flags a week from Saturday, 8:30 to 9:30. I had it out by 9:30. I spent some time this week disassembling flags, and there were a lot of foreign flags that were stored in there that I picked through and disassembled. So we actually don't have the reserve that I thought we were going to have. So we need to build flags a week from Saturday, 8:30 to 9:30. And several people are going to be gone, so I need all the help we can get, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and in that, we also want to thank, we have the school Rotary check that we can use for presentation. Thanks to our own Terry Oliver. Thank you, Terry. So you know, it takes a village to get all of our projects and things accomplished. So this is amazing. I've enjoyed serving this part. I'm going to invite us to the fans. Do we have any other announcements? We're past time, so okay, good. I'm going to invite our past president and current treasurer, David Harris, to lead us in a four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to